There's a lot of discourse online about the nature of arc raiders and the PvP social climate that's starting to make its way into the game. I've already gone on record saying that we need PvP and PvE-oriented players, and I'm not the only one saying it. The only reason I decided to make this video is because it feels like nobody is talking about the subtle etiquette of PvP. Hey, hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Put your hands up! Put your weapon away! There you go. See, we can all be friends now. Alright, go on, come on, guys. I'm not saying that PvP is inherently bad, but there's been a rash of PvP that I have seen undertaken by players that have nothing to gain by doing it. This behavior is called griefing, and it's getting lost in the sauce. Fucking moron. Wow. You tried, didn't you? You tried. Everyone's talking about, oh, it's a PvP-centric game, or the opposite, ours is originally designed for PvE. Wow. Look, it feels bad being ambushed in solos, but I've already talked about the design, and they've done as much as they can to keep solos interesting and non-punishing, but yeah, close quarters still allow for nasty, one-sided ambushes, and that's okay. The game design is pretty much fine. But if they changed just one or two things, they could completely eliminate the real problem at the bottom of this discussion, the griefing. Basically, PvP is good, but there are times when it does not contribute to positive gameplay, and the developers have already instituted basic mechanics to disincentivize PvP when it's boring for the people involved. The most obvious example is the spawn hunting that I've seen lately. If you kill a freshly spawned player, what kind of loot do you get? That's right, you get the same stuff that comes out of a supply drop or a field depot. You get guns, ammo, bandages, and shield rechargers. It's not nothing, but most people have correctly identified that the field depots and supply drops are basically the worst loot option in the game. So, why are people risking PvP just to kill other people at the start of the raid? Well, there are two reasons. One is griefing-like, where people just want to feel like they've won by killing somebody. They don't really profit at all, and it's boring. But the other one is like, you're worried they might do it to you. It's a form of preemptive self-defense, and like, whatever, I can't be mad at that. If you take the PvP-oriented players and wait 5 minutes into the match to spawn them, this problem just kind of goes away, and it's a win-win for everyone, because now the PvP-oriented players get to spawn into a match where all their potential victims already have stuff in their pockets. You don't have to find somebody who's in a loot-rich zone. Everyone is going to have time to have at least grabbed something. And the PvE players are going to like it because obviously you're going to have a lot less spawn camping. But the problem is, how do you identify a PvP-oriented player to know to spawn them a little bit late? Well, the simplest thing you could do would be to apply this status to anyone entering the raid with a free loadout. If people are PvPing for profit, that's fine. But if they're griefing, that's not okay, and the devs need to do something. I don't want PvP gone, it needs to stay in the game. You absolutely need it, and the people who enjoy it. But the game goes so far to try and keep things interesting and not PvP-centric. It would suck if the acknowledged meta of the game just began to involve the extreme attention to player spawn locations that you see in some other games. The free loadout people are the only people who genuinely benefit greatly from slaying a player that has just spawned at the beginning of the match. Since, free loadouts rarely have the excess healing, ammo, and weapons. Think about this for a second. You spawn in with your buddies and a nice loadout, ready and hunting for good PvP to enrich yourselves and to have fun doing it. If you kill people at the start, the team you kill will likely end up replaced, since groups keep spawning in up to 10 or 12 minutes into the raid. In other words, you're not reducing the number of potential assailants when you spawn kill. You're just wasting shield durability and ammo on an unnecessary fight. Like Hercules dulling his sword upon the many heads of a hydra. Because of all that I've mentioned so far, killing enemy players at the start of the game rather obviously has the least reward for what feels like a pretty large risk. It's not that you'd be griefing per se, but it is poor etiquette. And enough poor etiquette by enough players has the same effect on the game as griefing. A slow reduction in player count until the game just dies. If you care about the game and you find yourself focused on the PvP, please understand that I find it equally silly how angry people get at normal, run-of-the-mill raider-on-raider violence. I mean, I get angry at people who kill me too, but not in the sense that I think they or their playstyle should be removed from the game. You get it. You did the PvP. Good job. But whenever I see people attacking each other after the escape hatch is closed, it makes me think that the $40 price tag wasn't enough of a barrier to entry. Wow, you got me. I mean, if you've ever played the free-to-play games in this genre, like Dark and Darker, you'll notice that the social atmosphere is almost dominated by this toxic attitude where players seem to care more about their opponents losing than they do about winning themselves. The devs worked so hard to prevent this outcome, it would be such a shame to see their good work go to waste. On that note, I'm not sure we should allow free loadouts into the Harvester events. With the narrative cinematic for Bluegate actively suggesting that unprepared raiders may not even be allowed to go to excessively dangerous areas, it's not as though a ban on free loadouts for boss raids would really be that strange. And if you've ever been attacked by the free loadouts while fighting the boss, you know. You place the largest possible ante on the table in the form of hull crackers and wolf packs, and some guy who didn't even have to pay the ante kills you while you're fighting the toughest bot in the game. It's just stupid. At least make them put their gear at risk if they want to prey upon those raiders who came to kill the boss. If you really wanted to go that far, you could implement a karma system that saw normal loadouts with bad karma waiting to get in, but I don't like that idea. I don't want people to be punished in any way for doing PvP. The only PvP I've seen that really bothers me is the kind where the PvP player has no chance of benefiting at all from their violence. Anyway, that's it. That's all I had to say. Let me know what you think about PvP and griefing in the comments, and stay safe out there, raiders.